So class of 2012, you made it. And I want, just like Nolan and our board chair, Gil Kemp, to begin my remarks by asking you to join together in thanking people who helped you. To the faculty who have led, coached, directed, applauded, and challenged you on an intellectual voyage to frontiers that you didn't even know existed. Their commitment to your learning, your passion for thinking clearly and creatively, their insistence on excellence in writing, fieldwork, lab notes, and on the playing field is truly amazing and inspiring. May we each love what we do in life as much as they love teaching their disciplines to you, our students. Join me in thanking the faculty. And to the staff who have been your deans, your friends, who have raised the money so that you can have aid and good programs, who have fed you and maintained our spaces, who've aided you when you needed compassion and care, provided you guidance in areas that range from service to careers, who have helped you learn about the arts, athletics, international relations, journalism, and everything else all around the world. Will you join me in thanking the staff? And to your friends with whom you've shared this experience, who've sat with you in McCabe and in dorm rooms and who knows where else on campus, who have practiced, performed, and yes, partied with you, and with whom you share your successes and your struggles, your discoveries and your disappointments. You will miss these times, but you also now have a whole community of friends with whom you will engage one another as Swarthmore alumni, and you join an even greater body of friends, other Swarthmore alumni. Will you say thank you to each other? And just one more time, most especially, to your parents, sisters and brothers, grandparents, aunts and uncles who have believed in you, applauded you, and supported you during these 4 years. One more round of thanks for them. So you've had a pretty amazing 4 years, these years in particular. Since you entered Swarthmore, you have witnessed the election of our first black president, Barack Obama, and quite recently witnessed a president publicly supporting gay marriage. Yay. You've gone through college as the country and world have attempted to reset itself financially in the wake of a global financial crisis. Remember the budget adjustment caused by the Great Recession in 2008. We were all involved in that. And you supported a new wellness plan, a new strategic plan, and you participated in debates about Town Center West. You've welcomed a new president, a new dean, a new campus safety director, a new director for the Black Cultural Center, and earlier this month, a new director for the Intercultural Center. You have learned to study and live and experience life in the midst of change. You're prepared for the real world. During your 4 years with us, Swarthmore has been recognized as a leader in undergraduate science research, selected as a green campus by Princeton Review and the U.S. Building Council, recognized by Forbes magazine as one of the most beautiful college campuses in this country, and also recognized as a campus which celebrates and encourages activism and community building. And then there were all your many individual achievements. Among them, Watson and National Science Foundation fellowships, more than half a dozen Fulbright Award winners. You've been involved in War News radio broadcasts that received the Mark of Excellence Awards from the Society of Professional Journalists. Some of you were immersed in every aspect of producing the college's first TEDx Swarthmore event, including speaking or performing. You started Speak to Swaties, a 24/7 student-facilitated peer mentoring service. And you delivered ninjagrams and pirategrams to benefit charities, including Haiti Community Support, Global Neighbors, and Independent Thought and Social Action International in India. You've participated in the first course this college has ever offered with Ghana's Ashesi University, founded by an alum. You've contributed to the research on the Iran war clock, launched this spring by political science professor Dominic Tierney. And you helped to establish one of the college's newest traditions, the Harry Potter-style Yule Ball. You've had an intense experience at Swarthmore, and you've made a contribution forever to this community. So very shortly, you're going to walk across the stage, and I will give you a diploma. On that side of the stage, Dean Braun, as always, will be there to steady you, to hug you, to pat you on the back, maybe to push you, just like we've all tried to do during these 4 years. You'll walk or stride, or you can skip if you want, across the stage. And once you get that diploma and shake my hand, magic, you'll be a Swarthmore alumnus. A rich blessing, a deserved, well-deserved honor forever. Now, for the last several years, as I've gone through this experience, this ritual of handing the diplomas, I've had the same feeling that every one of us feels in the amphitheater, just joy and just kind of brimming with pride. It's such a wonderful thing to just say, go for it. Go out and live your life. Live it with zest. Follow your bliss. Have a wonderful experience. Have a meaningful life. Live your life fully. But today I have to say that I feel pride and joy, but I find myself kind of fantasizing also, and I promise I won't do this, but I'll tell you my fantasy, of slowing each one of you down, of just pausing long enough just before I give you that diploma to tell you it entails an obligation, to even beg you to use what you've learned here. So in my dream state, I kind of just slow down and remind you that there is such a thing as Swarthmore-style leadership. And even if it's not your bliss, and even if you don't want to be a leader, and even if you think you have no talent whatsoever to change the world or improve the world or be a leader in your field, I don't want to give you that diploma until you say, I will. I don't really say this lightly. I don't know that I like all the rhetoric about leadership in education. I find it kind of platitudinous. I mean, just platitude after platitude of let's all be leaders. It kind of appears like leadership is reducible to a yellow brick road where you go through your liberal arts curriculum and you get your little heart of courage and your brilliant mind and you reach the land of Oz. And far too often, I think leadership programs substitute really slick tactics for the arduous work of cultivating the courage and the insight for leadership. But I look at the world and I think we need you to embody Swarthmore-style leadership. It's certainly about joy and honor your graduation, but this is a graduation that's also about obligation. By Swarthmore-style leadership, I mean kind of what our graduates do. I can describe a composite picture of how our alumni lead, and they do it through academic rigor, through critical thinking, through imagination, with ethical values. Our honorary degree recipients today exemplify exactly what I mean. So rather than go through a lot of abstract terms, let me just tell you briefly about each one, because I think they represent what I want you to do. They've used critical thinking. They've used creative reframing in their fields. They've made differences because they've had the courage to think deeply and reframe issues. Lottie Balin, throughout her career, understood how workforce conditions had to change for everyone and for this country, and worked to develop workplace innovations such as telecommuting, flexible scheduling, family benefits, and workplace redesign. To do this, she had to undertake an enormous amount of research, and she had to think much deeper and much more critically about what families and individuals and the country were going to need if this country was really going to benefit from the talents of everyone. She embodies Swarthmore-style leadership. Frank Easterbrook is recognized as one of the most brilliant jurists of our day. He's recognized because of his ability to interpret critically and reframe legal opinions in the areas of antitrust law, intellectual property rights, corporate law, insider trading, price fixing, sentencing, policy, judicial review, constitutional law, and presidential power. He has a broad sweep where he uses his critical mind and his creative abilities to reinterpret, to move forward, to serve the common good. He embodies Swarthmore-style leadership. Judy Richardson, from her days in the very first semester of Swarthmore, has listened deeply to the critics of injustice and has used her considerable creative talents in singing, documenting, writing, and organizing to give voice to the injustice she witnessed and to shape her vision of overcoming the pain and suffering that our dreams of justice require. She embodies Swarthmore-style leadership. These are just three of many of our alumni who represent what we ask of you today and of all the tomorrows that follow. Listen deeply. Reframe those questions. Think outside the box. Envision a new way forward. Each of our honorary degree recipients has questioned. Each of them has resisted a common interpretation of the problem. Each of them have envisioned a new way forward. Each of them has had to resist political pressures. Each of them has had to experiment and implement new forms of democratic culture and practice. We offer one of the most rigorous educations in the world. You know this. You've endured it. You've experienced it. And now you can claim victory over it. We take enormous pride in the high standards of our approach. But we don't, for one moment, ever think that this rigor is about one long game of misery poker. And we certainly don't want you just to get by in life. The goal of our lofty aspirations is to ensure that when you leave here, you can listen deeply, you can reframe the questions, you can think outside the box, you can innovate and invent new solutions. So I join everyone in this amphitheater today, brimming with pride. My heart's filled with joy. You've made it. And with everyone, I'm hoping that your making it will indeed make a difference in the world. Members of the class of 2012, you embody Swarthmore-style leadership. May you be discerning, wise, curious, just, and joyful as we pass the baton of leadership to you today. Congratulations from all of us. And we will now proceed.